Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial are these super cute little bunny Easter egg covers. So there's the Easter eggs inside of them. They're super easy to make and really quick, and I have two different kinds. So I have one, you can tell the difference. This one and this one, I have polyfill in the head, and then on this one I used yarn to embroider the eyes and the nose, and then on this one I just used felt. And these I would say would be perfectly fine for kids. Now these four have safety eyes and a safety nose that are hot glued on and can definitely be ripped off if a kid wanted to. And then you also got the little pom-pom hot glued on for the tails. But they're super easy to make, and all we're doing is working it around a rubber band. Well, the egg doesn't want to pop out. Anyway, so all we're going to do is single crochet around a rubber band. I accidentally hot glued my tail to my egg. There we go. There. And yeah. It's super easy. Let me go over all of the supplies you're going to need. Now, the ones that have the the safety eyes and the safety nose, they're actually made on around a styrofoam head. So if you want to use that, I used, there it is, 1.5 inch styrofoam balls. So that is, I want to show you guys, so you know what you do is take your tape measure and you set that down. Where is my, okay, sorry about that. I was trying to find something to point with. Okay, so the 1.5 inch is just the length across the ball. So it's not the circumference, it's the diameter. So if I set this down and I take one needle and I set that right on that 0 inch line, and then I'm going to take this needle and I'm going to set that right on the 1/2 inch. So you can see right there's the inch, here's the 1/2 inch. Get that ball back on there. There. Right on that 1/2 inch. There you can see. That's how they come up with the 1.5 inch line or measurement. All right, so I guess that really wasn't 100% necessary, but that is the size of styrofoam ball you need. I will put a link in the description box. You can, if you don't like the ones I have, you know, they're 38 millimeters, so you can go 1.5 inch or 38 millimeters. So if you want to go to any other website or look somewhere else on Amazon and find your little styrofoam balls. But that is what we use in the head. And then I have 6 millimeter safety eyes, and we're not going to use the backs on these. We're just going to hot glue them into the styrofoam head. We just shove them into that styrofoam and then hot glue them in. And then I have this little pack of safety noses, and we use the smallest noses in the pack, and the link will be in the description box for those. Let me go ahead and just tell you what size they are. So, where's my tape measure? If you don't know how to measure what you have, so if you look at your tape measure and you have the centimeter side and you have your inch side. So on the centimeter side, you have 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, and so on. But all these little dashes are your millimeters. So like these safety eyes, if I set them on here and I set that right on that 0, and then you can see the other side goes past that, which would be, nope, that line right here would be 5 centimeters. So right past that is 6 centimeters. So that's how I know these eyes are little 6 centimeter eyes. So these noses, if I set that right on that 0 and I look, that is a 1 centimeter nose. So I have 6 millimeter, sorry, that's 5 millimeter, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 millimeter or 1 centimeter nose. I'm going to show you again for these eyes. The little dashes are the millimeters. I think I accidentally said centimeters earlier, so I want to make sure I got this. Set it on that 0. And then look, it goes right past that 5 millimeter to that next one. So that's the 6 millimeter eye. Okay? All right. So get you those. And then we are going to use these little pipe cleaners from Hobby Lobby. Now, I have no idea if you can find these anywhere else, but I've seen them at Hobby Lobby all the time. So I'm going to put a link in the description box for these. And then you're going to need a pair of scissors that can cut the pipe cleaner. So don't use your yarn scissors. Use a different pair of scissors that are really sturdy to cut those pipe cleaners. And then, now for these, like I said, I just use yarn to embroider the eyes and nose on this one. But on this one, I used felt. So if you want to get yourself a sheet of pale pink and then black for the eyes, I am not going to sugarcoat it. Cutting those tiny eyes are not fun. I did not like doing that at all, but it can be done. Okay, so you're going to need your little Easter eggs. I got these from Walmart. I actually have 2 packs in here. I just keep them all in a Ziploc bag. But you're going to have to get yourself a pack of Easter eggs and a tape measure if you need it. You don't really need it. And then, so these are just these little pom-poms. I just got a pack of pom-poms from a craft store. Just the little craft pom-poms are super easy to find all over. You can find them probably at Dollar Tree or Dollar General. And then you're gonna need, now I got these from Walmart. So this is a pack of assorted sizes and colored rubber bands. Well, inside of these, let me move these out of the way. Inside of these, they have the smallest blue rubber band, and that is what I use to crochet around for the bottom of the egg. So that rubber band measures unstretched about 2 inches. So I mean, it's a smaller rubber band by 1.5. I mean, I'm not stretching it. That's just that, you know, the way it sets. It's the average size of it. So I would say if you want to make these, I would get just a pack of assorted sizes and get, well, does it say on the pack? It says number 54 assorted sizes. Yeah, it doesn't say this size, but that's all right. So, I mean, get you a assorted size pack and then go for the smallest one, which is about 2 inches unstretched. Just lay it down. Or, here's an idea. Just grab one and then get you one of your eggs and then just see how it fits on your egg. So you want it to fit like that. And that's without single crochets around it. So whenever you work your single crochets around it, it's going to be just a tad bit tighter. So how's that? Do that instead. Okay? And then to show you guys, I like putting the eggs in to where the pointed edge of the egg is towards the tail of the bunny. Just like that. All right. So we've got the rubber bands. We've got the safety eyes, the nose. You need a needle to weave in your ends, scissors to cut your yarn, your pipe cleaners, your 6 millimeter hook, little styrofoam balls if you need it, and then your hot glue gun to attach. And then I just use Red Heart Super Saver White, and then any other color for the stripe in the center, and then of course the little bow. So any 4-weight yarn. All right. Oh, your little pom-poms for the tail. Just your little craft pom-poms. And I believe that is everything. So how I came up with this is that I was at an antique store with my husband, and last year I come across, trying to fix his little bow, I come across this little crocheted bunny, and I thought that would be perfect for me to recreate for Easter. And he has been sitting on my dresser for about a year, trying to make his bow a little nicer. And this is him. So when I saw this, I thought, I know exactly what those pipe cleaners are. And they actually bent them over and shoved them inside the styrofoam ball. And I'm like, I don't like the look of that. So that's why I decided to just cut mine and bend it in half instead of the point at the top. But you guys can do whatever you want. And then they just use the little Google eyes and then the black nose. And then if you notice, I could not help but think, look how different the size, I hot glued the tail to the egg on this one again, of the eggs are. These are what Walmart sells now. I wonder when these came out. But they are way bigger than these ones from Walmart. Anyway, so that is how I came up with this one. So what I did is I just sat down and I picked apart all the stitches and designed the way they did this one and came up with my own for you guys. So there you go. All right, so like I said, the ones with the safety eyes and the safety nose, kids are going to rip those off there. I don't care what kind of glue you use. They will figure out a way to pop those safety eyes and the nose off. So I do not recommend giving the ones that with the safety nose and the eyes glued on to kids. Now the ones with the felt and the embroidered eyes, I think if they rip those out, it's just a little piece of felt, or I don't know if they'd be able to pull that out because that's weaved through the head. So you can see the black right there. That's weaved through the head. So I mean, they're gonna have to pull out the stitches, pull out the polyfill. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot that you're gonna need. Polyfill if you're going to stuff your heads. Forgot about that. Okay, enough yapping, guys. So 13 minutes I've been talking. All right, get your guys' supplies together and let's get started. Okay, so to get started, we are going to get a slip knot on our hook, and as always, make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in. And we are going to attach to our rubber band with a slip stitch. Go right in there, grab, slip stitch, and then I'm going to pull that tail tight so that slip stitch is nice and tight around there. All right, chain 1, and now we're going to work 20 single crochet into around that rubber band, okay? And it is going to want to warp on us. It hasn't quite much yet, but it is going to start to twist. Just keep adjusting it and making sure your single crochets are facing to the outside. I'm going to go ahead and stay with you guys for my round so you can get a good idea of what I'm talking about. Okay, so 20 singles. So there's 1, 2, 3, and if you want to mark that first single with a stitch marker, go ahead. I actually don't have one set in here, so I'm just going to keep going. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now I did not adjust mine because I want you guys to see how it all gets all twisted and turned around on itself. All we're gonna do, first of all, get that tail out of the way. Just start from the last stitches that you just worked and twist it as much as you need to back to the way it's supposed to be. There we go. Just like that. And then give it a bit of a pull and it'll stay like that. Alright, so I am back to the beginning. There's my really, really tight slip stitch. There's the chain 1. Here's our first single. Look for your legs right there, the first set of legs. There's where your single is. So I'm going to get my hook back on there. And I'm going to slip stitch to my first single, which is right there. Slip stitch and chain 1. All right. So now we're going to move on to round 2. Already chained 1. I just about did it again. All right, we are going to work a double crochet into each of our singles all the way around. So I'm going to go right back into the same single that we just slip stitched into. Just scoot that over a bit and you can see that little hole. There is the single that we are going to double crochet into. And then double into each of your singles. So you should have 20 double crochet. Now I'm not going to make you guys watch me work all these double crochets, so I'm going to finish mine off camera real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, I made it all the way around and I wanted to stop before I work my last double because I want you guys to see it can get a little bit confusing because that slips, or that slip stitch right here, right there, that can look like a single crochet. But if you just work, look for your legs. There's your last 2 legs. Remember, the top of your stitch is always just a tad bit to the right of your legs. So if you just work what you think is your last and then stop, go backwards. Here's the top of your first double. There's your chain 1 and there's your slip stitch. So you know that's not a single crochet to work into. Or just stop and count your doubles. We need 20. You only have 19, so you know you got 1 more to work. And then slip stitch to the top of that first double. And we are going to chain 1, pull up a loop, and fasten off. Because now we're going to change to the color stripe. And mine, I'm going to use this spring green. I don't have, I wanted to keep all of these bunnies with a pastel stripe in them, but I don't have a paler green. Well, I don't want to say pale. I don't have a more pastel green than this spring green, so I just said, oh well, I'll go with that. All right, get a slip knot on your hook. As always, make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in. I may have a tad bit much this time. That's all right. All right, I'm going to attach right back into that double crochet that we fastened off into. I'm going to go right back in there with a slip stitch. Slip stitch. Pull that tail, tighten that down, and chain 1. And we're going to double crochet decrease over the double crochet that we just attached into and into the next. So yarn over. I'm going to slide this to the side just a bit, go right back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go to the next double, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Okay, so now we're going to double crochet into the next 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3, and double crochet decrease across the next 2. So yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go into the next double, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Double into the next 3. 1, 2, and 3. Decrease over the next 2. I'm going to go a little bit faster with it this time. Double and crochet into the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Decrease over the next 2. Double crochet into the last 3 double. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to get my tails out of the way, and we are going to slip stitch into the top of that first decrease. Here is the belt, our belt around our heart. The belt is the slip stitch, the heart is the chain 1, and right there is the top of our first decrease. So we are going to slip stitch right into there. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and we're going to cut. Okay, now we're going to go back to our white. Turn my pattern page. All right, I got a slip stitch on my hook. Oh, slip knot on my hook. Plenty of tail to weave in, and I'm going to attach with a slip stitch right back into the decrease that we fastened off in. So I'm going to go right in there, slip stitch. Did I split that? Okay, chain 1, pull that tail tight, yarn over, and we're going to decrease over the same decrease that we just attached into and into the next double. Go into the next double and finish our decrease. Okay, now we're going to double into the next 2 double. I should say next 2 stitches. And then decrease over the next 2. Double into the next 2. Decrease over the next 2. Double into the next 2. Decrease over the next 2. Double crochet into your last 2. All right, now we're going to slip stitch to that first decrease. You can see it if you turn your work a little bit. It's looking right at you, right there. We're going to slip stitch into there. All right, now we're going to chain 1. And the last round of our body, we are going to be working half double crochet decreases all the way around. I had to change that in my pattern because this is my 3rd time filming this tutorial. Super simple. I have filmed way harder projects and have had no problems in filming. This super simple tutorial, a little Easter bunny egg cover, I have had the hardest time filming this. This is my 3rd time filming this because I have messed it up so many times. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so the last round we are going to work half double crochet decreases all the way around, okay? So we're going to go right back into that decrease we slip stitched into. We're going to yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. Now we're going to stop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and we have 5 loops on our hook. And we're going to yarn over and pull through all 5. That's the half double decrease, and that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. So yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, 5 loops, yarn over, pull through all 5. And again, into the next, pull through all 5. Sounds like it's raining. Okay, over the next 2. Over the next 2. Oop, missed that. And over the last 2 double. Right, like that. Get my tail out of the way. And we're going to slip stitch into the top of that half double crochet decrease. And chain 1. Okay, so we're going to stop right here, because if you're going to make the head, that is the polyfill, and then you can embroider the eyes, or like on these I just used felt, little pieces of felt I cut. I'm going to continue on and we're going to make one like this. But if you're going to use the styrofoam balls, go ahead, chain 1, like we already did, cut, pull it out, weave in your ends, and hold on just a second. But if you're going to make the polyfill head, go ahead, we're going to continue on, okay? The styrofoam head we're cutting and making the head separate. The polyfill head we're making together right now, connected to the head, okay? All right, so we are going to work for the polyfill head. We are going to work a double crochet increase all the way around. So that means 2 double crochet into each of those double crochet decreases that we just did. So we're going to yarn over, go right into the, did I say double crochet decrease? I meant half double decrease. I don't remember what I said. Anyway, 2 double crochet into each stitch all the way around. There's 1. There's 2. All right, go to the next. 1 and 2. 2 into the next. 2 into the next. Into the next. Into the last. Now you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 double crochet. All right, so we're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet, chain 1, and we are going to work, little neighbor dog's barking. Okay, we're going to work a double crochet back into that same double crochet that we just slip stitched into. Okay? And then we're going to double crochet into the next. And now we're going to double crochet decrease across the next 2. Double into the next 2. Decrease over the next 2. Double crochet into the next 2. My doorbell just rang. Hold on just a second. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so now, let's see, we just worked the decrease, 2 double. Now we are going to decrease over the last 2 double crochet. Yarn over, 4, pull through all 3. All right, now slip stitch into the top of that first double crochet. I just noticed that red line across my finger. I don't know what that is. Looks like I pinched myself. Well, that's weird. Okay, so, all right, I'm all kinds of flustered. My doorbell was actually a woman coming around to sign a petition to get a grant to get fiber optic internet in our little bitty town. Like our town's population is like 300, maybe 350, almost 4. I don't know. Anyway, so it's a tiny, tiny town, and the only option we have for internet is through our phone lines or the DSL, and the phone line is our best option. And to have fiber optic would be absolutely amazing. Like I could upload an hour video in no time, whereas now to upload an hour-long video takes overnight. Anyway, so I got excited. Okay. All right, so now we are going to work double crochet decreases all the way around. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to decrease right back into that double crochet that we just slip stitched into. And over the next, did I say double crochet into? Sorry, we're decreasing all the way around. So over the next 2. Over the next 2, over the next 2, get off there, and over, well, we're in the last one, so I am just going to go ahead and work 1 double, or how about a half double, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the very first and chain 1. Now pull up a longer bit of tail because we may not need all of it, but what we're going to do is just kind of use that to weave around these last few stitches, just to kind of tighten that down a bit. But we are now going to get a little pinch of polyfill. May not even need that much, but I'm going to go right up in there and go into that head. Get it in there. On camera, like I'm watching my hands. I'm watching my camera. I'm not watching my hands. So it gets a little hard to see the difference between the polyfill and the yarn. So I'm going to add another little pinch in there. Make sure it's nice and stuffed. And now I'm going to take this tail get it on there, and then I'm just going to weave it in and out of these stitches all the way around. Back to the beginning. Pull that. Don't pull it too tight, because what we're going to do, and I'll get to this in a minute, is we're going to take the ears and then run it through that center and just glue them down. Okay, so now you can do your eyes. Like I said, mine, I did the felt. Bit of a pain in the butt. It's cutting circles that small for felt, or you can embroider your ears however you want to. And if you want to add a little more polyfill up in there, you can. But other than that, besides the decorating, your little, oh, I forgot, add a little tie around the neck like I did on this one. Just tied a little bow around the neck. Okay. All right, so I'm going to set that to the side, and I will finish that one in a minute. But now on to the head that we are doing around the styrofoam ball. Okay, so I'm going to get my white back. and get a slip knot on my hook. Make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in. And I am going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slip stitch to that first chain to form a ring. I like to get my fingertips in there before I slip stitch. Chain 1, and then take this tail and pull it tight to close that chain up real tight. Okay, and we got our chain 1. So now I'm going to work 12 double crochet into this ring. 1, 2, 3, work over your tail, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more for 12. All right, I'm going to slip stitch to the top of that first double right there and chain 1. I'm going to go ahead and pull that tail a little bit. I don't want to fully close that because again, that's where we're going to insert the pipe cleaner for the ears. And we are now going to work, oops, I just bumped my phone, I'm sorry. We're going to double crochet right back into that double crochet that we just slip stitched into. So double crochet right back in there, and then double crochet into that next double. And then into the next, we're going to increase. And all that is 2 doubles into 1. And that's what we're going to repeat around. Double into the next 2. And then increase into the next. Double into the next 2. Increase into the next. Double into the next 2. Increase into that last double. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 doubles. All right. We are going to slip stitch to that very first double crochet. Chain 1, and we're going to double crochet decrease over the double we just slip stitched into and into the next. So go right into that very first double. Oh, nope, don't do that. Sorry. And go into your next to finish up the decrease. And we're going to decrease over the next 2 and over the next 2. What we're going to do is we're going to decrease over the next 2 all the way around until the last 2. Don't work the, where are they at? Right there. Don't work your decrease over the last 2. Just hold on a second because we're going to have to insert the styrofoam ball and then work the stitches because they're a tad bit tough. All right, so I'm just going to stay with you guys. We're almost there. Decrease. Decrease. Move my tail. Decrease. Let's see. Decrease. And then I'm going to stop. There's my last two. So I'm going to go ahead and get my styrofoam ball. Okay. So I'm going to get my, pull this up so I don't lose it. And my tail, I'm just going to snip that, poke it down inside. Okay, where'd the ball go? There. Slide this inside of here. I may have to give it a little bit of a tug because the yarn does not want to slide around the styrofoam. So I'm going to have to maneuver it in there. Just like that. Okay, so now I can finish these last two decrease, or the last decrease. And I'm going to have to kind of, my hook is going to go into the styrofoam ball a little bit. You're going to hear it crunch a little. Unless I can keep it from happening, but go in, pull through two, into the last, pull through two, yarn over, pull through all three, and now I'm just going to slip stitch to the first decrease right here, which I realize it's a tad bit hard to see for you guys, the white styrofoam with the white yarn. I'm sorry. Okay, chain one. Now I'm going to pull up a longer loop because that's what we're going to use to sew the head to the body. There's the little head. Alright, so now I'm going to bring my body in here and get my needle. Alright, and I am going to go, so when I'm holding this, we worked it like this, focus. Here is the top of the first decrease we slip stitched into, it's right here. So I am going to go right through there and right through one of the decreases. And that's all I'm going to do is go through each decrease on the body. Wait, did I already go? No, I didn't. Through here and then through one on the head. And this doesn't have to be lined up 100% perfect. It's not the easiest thing in the world to see your stitches from your head to the body, to the head, to the body. All we're doing is just sewing it together. So I'm going to go here to here, here to here, decrease here, decrease on the head, decrease here, okay. And another reason this doesn't have to be perfect is because the tie that we're going to tie around the neck is going to hide any imperfections. Alright, so I think I got that pretty good. So I'm just going to go right through, pull that, and cut, and I'll weave that in a little bit. Okay, so there is the head attached to our little body. Let me pull you guys out a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so I am going to stop here, and I'm going to weave in all my ends on the one that we stuff the head and the one with the styrofoam. I'm going to weave all these ends in. I may add a little stuffing to him. And when I come back, we're going to do the finishing little touches, the eyeballs, the nose, the ears, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get my hot glue gun hot. Have it nice and ready. Okay, I will be back in just a second. Alrighty. Oh, dang it, I didn't mean to bump that. Okay, I've got all my ends weaved in. They both look so cute. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to start with the little stuff. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue their little pom-pom tails on. Boop. I guess I should have fluffed up the little pom-poms before I started. Just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and get one of my pipe cleaners. Uh-oh, get off there. All right, so I'm gonna get my sturdy scissors. These are actually a pair of kitchen shears that came from a set I bought at Walmart, like the pack of scissors. I about said cigarettes. The pack of scissors had a bunch of different scissors in it, and this is one of them, and I love these things. I use them to cut cardboard, this kind of stuff. Okay, anyhow, so I'm going to take my little pipe cleaner and I'm going to cut it right in the center. So these two fluffs are going to go to one bunny and these two fluffs are going to go to the next. So I'm going to go right in the center, just like that. All right, so now what I do is I take my piece and I fold it in half and I get it just where the top of the fluff on each side is even. You can see that. And then I make sure I got a nice pinch or a nice angle, is what I'm trying to say. And then stop and double check, make sure I like where the fluff sits. And then I trim right at the top. So I'm going to trim it right there. And get it on this side, just like that. All right, then, so all I do is fill the top of that head right there with hot glue. And then push this down inside. Just like that. And I'm going to let that set before I spread it open. And then I do the same thing on this one. Take this. I'm going to bring the two ends together. Make sure that I got the fluff lined up. And then pinch the sides down, or this edge right there. So it's a nice sharp point. And then I'm going to trim right at the top. That just went flying behind my desk. So did that one. Okay, take my hot glue gun. And now this one, the top is a little more pinch closed, so I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to kind of wiggle it around in there to burrow out a hole. Right there, right in the center. All right, now I'm going to put my hot glue tip in there. Push it and fill it full of that glue. Make sure I got it set and straight. Push that down inside. Just like that. And you can separate the ears a little. And there you go. So now this one, I've got my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and get my little nose. Now this one I like to make sure he's sitting nice and pretty. And then I kind of eyeball where I want the nose to be. And I put the hot glue on the bunny and then the nose on the bunny. So I can sit here and I'm looking at it, which I know it's not focusing here. But I can sit here and I can look. I want the nose right there. So I just put a little bit of hot glue, pick up the nose, set it on there, and then look back at it, and then I can adjust it as I want. Just like that. And now the eyes are actually pretty easy because we're shoving them into the styrofoam. Oops. Just like that, and then we're going to glue them. But what I'm doing right now is just getting them where I like them first. So I think that's just a tad bit too close together. So I'm just going to pull it out, bring one over a bit, shove it into the styrofoam. Take this one, bring it over just a tad. Let's see. I like the way that looks a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and go right back where I had it. Give it a couple little squirts of hot glue. Push it right back in there. Same thing on this side. And there you go. Adjust as you need it. And, or actually, well, no, you're not done yet. I almost said you were done. I'm going to take a little piece of my color. I'm going to tie a bow around his neck. I've got some strands of hot glue hanging from me. So now I'm going to pull it tight and then work my little bow. Now I like to do the bow a little bit bigger and then trim it as I'm adjusting it, because I am not good at at tying bows. And it drives me nuts. Okay. Tighten that back down. Pull these tails again. Tighten it back down. Pull the tail. Okay, so I like that. So I'm going to trim just like that. And there is your little bunny. I think these are so stinking cute. All right, so set him to the side. Come back to this one. All right, now this one, I'm going to go ahead and just tie the bow on. I think with this one, I'm going, I don't know. I'm going to tell you what, doing the embroidery, or not embroidery, the felt, that's what I'm trying to say, the felt. Doing the felt, the little eyes and the nose, I'm not going to hide this from you guys. That is a big pain in the butt to do. Cutting that small of felt eyes and nose, I am not good at, and I just get frustrated, and then I end up wasting a bunch of felt because I can't get it right and I don't like it. That is perfect. That looks perfect. I love that. So what I'm thinking about doing, I thought about trying black yarn and pink yarn and using that to embroider the eyes and the nose. Having said that, I don't want to do it on camera because it's going to take quite a while for me to get that just right. So I'm going to stop my camera here and I'm going to embroider these eyes and the nose, and then I'm going to come back and show you guys how it looks, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I embroidered. I used 2 little French knots and then just did a couple little rounds for his nose. Not a huge fan, but perfect when you give it to kids. So there is our bunnies. That's not even the one I did. This is the one we did on camera. Okay, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed my little tutorial. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't, because I've got all kinds of tutorials in my mind to get out to you guys. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of these little bunnies. And what else? That's it. Check out the description box. I got all kinds of links in there for you guys, especially everything you're going to need to make them. So the pipe cleaner ears and the polyfill, and then the safety eyes and the nose. And this is felt, and this is just yarn. Let's see. Oh, and the styrofoam balls. And that's it. All right, guys. I'm going to get off here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.